Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my review for episode 2 of She-Hulk.
United generation, here is chosen. One girl in all the world. She alone will review the movies, TV shows, and books of geek culture. I am the chosen girl.
So the show opens with the news reports covering the courtroom attack from the last episode, the end of the last episode. They confirm that the villain is Titania, who's a big, popular social media influencer, and then they also give her, Jen, the name of She-Hulk. And so Jen is adjusting to life as the She-Hulk now that everybody knows. And her friend tells her that she could become an Avenger, which I think is kind of funny. And then of course Jen kind of questions well, do the Avengers have healthcare? Do they even get paid? Which I thought was kind of cool because that's kind of a reference to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show where Sam Wilson couldn't even get a loan for the boat. They kind of deal with how the Avengers worked in that show, and so we're kind of referencing that here also. So I thought that was kind of a good callback. Dang it. So then Jen loses her job because they say She-Hulk is a liability or a PR nightmare or something, which is kind of messed up because she did save people in the courtroom. Although we still don't know what Titania was doing, why she attacked the courtroom to begin with. So I hope that's something that we can explore more going forward. I hope we continue with the Titania storyline and figure out why she was doing that to begin with, and did she always have superpowers, or was they given to her recently? So I would hopefully we don't get Titania other than that mention at the beginning, so I hope maybe the next episode we can kind of continue that storyline. But Jen is moping around because nobody will hire her, and then we get a scene of Jen at dinner with her family, which is interesting. And so she's having dinner with her mom, her dad, her aunt, uncle, and her cousin, and her mom's trying to set her up on dates, giving her phone number out, and the uncle calls her Jenny, and she says she doesn't go by Jenny, and the cousin's bragging about being a manager at Best Buy, but the dad seems really sweet though. He pulls her aside and talks to her, checks in with her, and I like that he mentions this isn't the first time they've had a Hulk in the family, which is kind of interesting because this is partly Bruce's family as well, although her last name is Walters and his is Banner, but still they're family. But we never did figure out what Bruce's familial relationship was with his family after he became the Hulk. So I kind of like that we're getting that here with Jen and how this is affecting her family life. So it's kind of interesting. I like that. And then Jen's getting drunk at the bar, but then she gets hired at the bar, which I don't know, this is kind of a weird scene. Why would he just approach her at the bar instead of giving her a call? But the guy from GLK&H, who was the company that she was against at the end of the last episode during the courtroom, they want to hire her, and so of course she takes it. And I like that she brings her best friend Nikki over as her paralegal, and so they hire her, but they want her to be in She-Hulk form as she's representing the company because they're starting the new superhero division of the company, and so they want She-Hulk to be the face of the superhero division. And of course she's doesn't want to be in She-Hulk form all the time, but she still has to take the job because nobody else will hire her. So it's kind of an interesting, I wish she had maybe weighed in more heavily on that, really kind of make the decision instead of just being I'm in. But she didn't have any other choices. But it would have been nice to see kind of how her as the She-Hulk has to change. We're getting kind of her adjusting to life as the She-Hulk, but how does that change her morality, I guess, when it comes to things getting a job and dealing with people in the public? So maybe we'll get some of that as the show goes on. But she gets hired, and then her first case is the parole of Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination. So we meet Emil Blonsky in this high-tech cell at the DODC, Department of Damage Control, which we just saw in the Ms. Marvel show also. But Blonsky is up for parole, and he's trying to repent and make amends, and he tells her he's a changed man and everything, and he even mentioned something about soulmates. But So he like kind of tries to rewrite his history from the Incredible Hulk movies, trying to blame everything on General Ross and saying they promised him he would be Captain America and everything. But he ignores the part where like he knew exactly what he was doing. He chose to get the super soldier serum, and then he went to Stearns to get more, knowing that he might become a monster. So he kind of like skips over all of that. But he does write a letter to Bruce apparently, so they kind of patch things up. And Bruce does mention that like that was just so long ago. Like Bruce has changed. It's possible Blonsky's changed, but I don't know. I still don't want to fully trust him yet, just because he is kind of like not taking super responsibility for the events of the Incredible Hulk. He just wants to blame it on Ross and the government. But we'll see where that goes. And then they do show the clip at the end of the episode. Jen sees on TV that Blonsky has escaped, and they show the footage of Blonsky fighting Wong in the arena during the Shang-Chi movie. So I think maybe next episode we're going to get Wong. So this confirms that this show takes place the same time as the Shang-Chi movie. And so maybe we'll figure out why Wong was breaking him out to do fights and stuff. So I love Wong. I hope we get to see Wong next episode. I thought it was great he popped up in Shang-Chi. So I think we're going to get more context for that whole thing in Shang-Chi too. So that was kind of fun to see here. And then I also like Jen calling up Bruce and letting her know that she's representing Blonsky, just to kind of see how Bruce feels about that. And they're talking, and he's encouraging her, and he says everything's fine, and she's going to do great. And then it's revealed that Bruce is actually on the Sakaar ship that we saw last episode, the one that caused Jen's car crash. So he's on the ship, on his way to Sakaar to meet the Grandmaster, probably. So I don't think we'll see Bruce in the next few episodes. He may show up in the last episode or the last two episodes. And hopefully we'll figure out what's going on with him, why Sakaar wanted him, and what's he doing going there and everything. So I hope we do get more of the Bruce storyline. So I know a lot of people are talking World War Hulk, or maybe Bruce has a kid Hulk or something. So I don't know how much they're going to tell us by the end of the show. They might want to reveal that for later MCU projects, but it's kind of cool they're throwing hints here. And so hopefully we will see more of Bruce in the later episodes as well. And then the end credit scene is Jen in She-Hulk form just doing chores for her family, which is kind of fun. You know, I mean, when she has the super strength, and so her dad's making her like lift up the car to change a tire and like carry a bunch of water jugs inside the house. It's always fun to see superheroes use their powers for like mundane things, and that's totally something like a family member would ask of you, right, if you had superpowers. So that's like kind of a fun end credit scene, not much to it. So overall, I think I really enjoyed this episode, not as much as the first episode. There wasn't as much comedy, as much laughter. I don't think not a lot happened in this episode. It's kind of just Jen trying to adjust her life as She-Hulk, and then gets recruited for a job and meets Blonsky, and then that's it. So not too much happens in this episode. It's also a shorter episode than the first episode, which is kind of disappointing because it did feel like really, like it went by really fast, especially with nothing much happening. But I do like Jen adjusting to life as the She-Hulk, and, you know, getting fired and dealing with not having a job and then having to take the job, but she's unsure about it. And I like all of those aspects, and I like her relationship with her friend Nikki, who's like really supportive of her and thinks like this is like the best thing to happen to her. So I want kind of like more of that relationship. So I kind of like want more of the heartfelt stuff and more of the plot stuff, and we kind of didn't get much of either of those in this episode. This episode just feels like more of a setup continuation from the last episode. So I hope we can get more of the main plot of the show and see Jen's journey as she comes to accept herself as the Hulk. So I hope that we can kind of get more of a unified episode next week and really kind of just go forward from there with the plot. Because like the first two episodes just really feel like we're setting up She-Hulk and who she is, and we're just kind of teasing out the plot a little bit. And so I hope next episode we just go for it, and we get maybe to see her in the dating life and everything that we saw in the trailers because that's all the stuff that I want to see. So I hope we can get more of that. So I thought this episode was just okay. I still enjoyed it, but yeah, I think we need more of a little bit more comedy, a little bit more of the plot, a little bit more of what is going on and the sort of general context of the whole show. So that's my review for She-Hulk Episode 2. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Marvel movie reviews and She-Hulk weekly reviews. And until next time, namaste. Bye.